What happens to your brain when you drink coffee every day? Have you ever stopped to think about what really happens to your brain every time you drink that cup of coffee? It seems harmless, right? But what if I told you that this common beverage can trick your nervous system, manipulate your energy levels, and even interfere with your sleep? That's right. The coffee you love hides much more than just aroma and flavor. It's a powerful chemical weapon that can either help or harm you, depending on how you consume it. The truth is, while many think coffee is just a daily ritual, it's actually altering fundamental processes in your brain. But hold on, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Used the right way, it can boost your focus, productivity, and even your mental health. On the other hand, overdoing it can lead to dependency, anxiety, and even harm your quality of life. So, how do you find the perfect balance? If you're a coffee lover or just curious about the effects of this beverage, get ready. In this video, we're diving deep into the science behind caffeine. We'll explore what it does to your brain, debunk myths about its consumption, and most importantly, show you how to use it to your advantage. Ready to transform the way you think about this beloved drink? Stick with me. The answer might just surprise you. The beverage that powers the world. Have you ever wondered why so many people start their day with a cup of coffee? Here's an interesting fact. About 90% of adults worldwide consume caffeine daily. And it's no coincidence. Coffee isn't just a beverage. It's a ritual that awakens minds and fuels conversations. If you think you know everything about this magical drink, get ready to uncover what it really does to your body. Caffeine is found in much more than just coffee. Think about teas, energy drinks, and even chocolate. It sneaks into our routines like an old friend. But do we really understand how it works? More importantly, are we using this powerful tool to our advantage, or are we just giving in to habit? What's really behind that sudden burst of energy after a sip? Let's uncover the truth together. Today, we're going beyond the flavor and aroma. We'll dive into the impact of caffeine on your brain and body, exploring its benefits, downsides, and of course, the myths that surround it. After all, you deserve to enjoy this substance with more awareness, knowing what you're gaining, and maybe losing, with every cup. So, as you sip on your favorite coffee or tea, join us on this journey. Here's the promise. By the end, you'll not only have answers but also insights that could change how you view caffeine in your daily life. And now, how about discovering the origins and curiosities of this substance that has shaped entire cultures? What is caffeine? Origins and curiosities. Caffeine is much more than just a simple ingredient in your coffee. It's a natural psychoactive substance found in plants like coffee, tea, and cacao, and it acts as a powerful stimulant in the human body. Since ancient civilizations, people have sought natural sources of caffeine to boost energy and focus. After all, who hasn't needed a little extra push to get through the day? Historically, caffeine has played a key role in pivotal moments of humanity. During the Industrial Revolution, coffee became the beverage of choice in factories, helping workers stay alert during long shifts. In China, tea took on a deeply cultural role, giving rise to ceremonies that remain significant today. Across the globe, caffeine has found a unique place in every society. And speaking of curiosities, did you know that mate, widely consumed in South America, is also rich in caffeine? In countries like Argentina and Uruguay, it's a symbol of connection and hospitality. Meanwhile, chocolate, loved worldwide, contains small doses of caffeine, which partly explains its irresistible appeal. Now think about it. What would the world be like without caffeine? From business meetings fueled by coffee to teas that bring families together around the table, this substance goes beyond the physical and touches the emotional. But the real magic happens inside your body, especially in your brain. Ready to learn how? How caffeine works in the brain. Inside your brain, caffeine puts on a chemical performance that could earn a standing ovation. To understand, imagine your brain as a machine powered by wires called neurons. These neurons communicate through electrical signals. And that's where adenosine comes in, a molecule that acts as a natural brake, slowing everything down and making you feel tired. But caffeine doesn't let that slide. When you drink your cup of coffee, caffeine springs into action by blocking adenosine receptors. It works like a key fitting into the wrong lock, preventing adenosine from doing its job. The result? Your brain gets a false alert of energy, keeping you awake and focused even when fatigue is lurking nearby. It's like tricking sleep with a mischievous grin. This effect is so powerful that many people rely on coffee as their daily fuel for long hours of work or study. Picture a student cramming for an important exam. As the books pile up, coffee becomes their loyal ally. What they might not realize is that this boost is a chemical trick, activating brain areas responsible for attention and motivation. What's even more impressive is how quickly it all happens. In just a few minutes, caffeine reaches peak levels in your bloodstream and begins altering signals in your brain. But of course, the story doesn't end there. How can these effects shape our mind and body for the better? Let's find out. Cognitive and physical benefits of caffeine. Caffeine is more than just a tool to keep you awake. It can be a real booster for both mind and body. Studies show it enhances attention, short-term memory, and even mood. Think about how a cup of coffee transforms a sluggish morning. Suddenly, you're more alert, and that daunting stack of work doesn't seem so overwhelming anymore. But its benefits aren't limited to mental tasks. Athletes often turn to caffeine to improve physical performance. It can increase endurance by helping the body use fat as a source of energy during prolonged exercise. Need a practical example? That park run might feel much easier after a moderate dose of caffeine. There's more. According to renowned neuroscientist Dr. Matthew Walker, caffeine, when consumed in moderation, can even elevate mood and reduce mild symptoms of depression. Picture sharing a cup of coffee with friends on a tough day. It's not just the comforting aroma, but also the chemical effects that boost your spirits and sense of well-being. However, these benefits hinge on finding the right balance. Overdoing it can backfire, causing restlessness or anxiety. So, what's the sweet spot? The key lies in understanding your body and tailoring your intake to fit your needs. And this brings us to an intriguing question. What happens when caffeine becomes a long-term habit? Caffeine tolerance. An inevitable effect? Over time, caffeine starts to lose some of its magic. This happens because the human body is incredibly adaptable. Regular caffeine consumption prompts the brain to increase the number of adenosine receptors in a process called upregulation. The result? You need more coffee to achieve the same level of energy and focus that a single cup once provided. This tolerance effect can turn a pleasurable habit into a functional dependency. Picture someone who starts with 1 cup in the morning and, months later, finds they need 3 or 4 just to keep up. It's not merely a matter of routine but brain chemistry. Without the daily dose, fatigue and even irritability can creep in as unwelcome reminders. Many people, realizing this dependency, turn to simple strategies to reset their system. Caffeine-free days, often referred to as detoxes, are a popular choice. During these breaks, the brain begins to rebalance its receptors, reducing tolerance. The result? When you return to coffee, it feels almost as effective as the first time. However, for those who consume caffeine excessively, the effects can go beyond tolerance. Anxiety, sleep disturbances, and even health issues can arise. This highlights a delicate balance between healthy use and potential risks. Are you crossing that line? Risks and side effects. The fine line between helpful and harmful. Caffeine, while powerful, is not without risks. When consumed in excess, it can bring a range of side effects, starting with the cardiovascular system. Studies by the American Heart Association reveal that caffeine can temporarily raise blood pressure, especially in sensitive individuals. Imagine the impact on someone already dealing with hypertension. 1 extra cup might be enough to cause discomfort. Excessive caffeine intake can also trigger symptoms like tremors, anxiety, and even insomnia. Who hasn't regretted that late-night coffee, only to spend hours tossing and turning? This happens because caffeine blocks melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. For those who rely on caffeine to stay alert, this cycle can be hard to break. Another crucial point is caffeine's diuretic effect, which increases urination and can lead to dehydration if you're not careful. For those with busy schedules, this can become a real issue. The solution is simple. Balance caffeine intake with plenty of water throughout the day. After all, staying hydrated is essential for your body's overall function. Despite these risks, many people continue to consume caffeine without considering the consequences. But how do you know if you're overdoing it? The answer lies in the signals your body sends, such as palpitations or restlessness. And this brings us to a critical question. How does caffeine interfere with sleep quality and the quest for balance? The impact on sleep and the importance of balance. Caffeine's effect on sleep is one of the most intriguing and problematic aspects of its consumption. By blocking adenosine, the molecule responsible for inducing tiredness, caffeine directly disrupts the body's ability to relax and prepare for sleep. That's why an innocent afternoon coffee can leave you counting sheep at night, frustrated by insomnia. Experts like Dr. Matthew Walker recommend having your last dose of caffeine at least 8 hours before bedtime. This is because caffeine's half-life, the time it takes for the body to metabolize half of it, is quite long. Imagine drinking coffee at 3 p.m. and still feeling its effects lingering in your system at 11 p.m., making it harder to get the rest you need. For those seeking balance, there are simple and effective alternatives. Opting for decaffeinated teas or natural infusions like chamomile or peppermint can help wind down at the end of the day. Another tip is establishing a sleep ritual, avoiding not only caffeine but also bright lights and electronics at least an hour before bed. The impact of a good night's sleep is far greater than many realize. But sleep isn't the only aspect influenced by caffeine. Its effects on physical and mental performance extend far beyond rest, often being used strategically to boost productivity or athletic ability. Is there a science behind this strategic use? Let's find out. Curiosities. Caffeine and the science of performance. Caffeine isn't just a trusty companion to keep you awake. It can also be a game changer for enhancing physical and mental performance. Research published in the Journal of Sports Sciences shows that caffeine can boost endurance during physical activities by helping the body utilize fat as an energy source. This explains why many athletes consume coffee before training sessions or major competitions. Picture a marathon runner preparing for a race. A moderate dose of caffeine can help delay fatigue and improve focus, making it a go-to choice for athletes. Additionally, studies suggest that caffeine may aid in muscle recovery by reducing post-workout pain perception. So, if you're into sports, it might be worth exploring a strategic approach to caffeine consumption. In the mental arena, caffeine shines just as brightly. It's known to enhance clarity, focus, and even cognitive processing speed. Need a practical example? Many professionals turn to caffeine before important meetings or projects to maximize productivity. It's like giving your brain a perfectly timed boost, making complex tasks feel more manageable. But, like anything in life, moderation is key. Relying too heavily on caffeine can lead to dependency or the dreaded crash effect. This raises an intriguing question. Is caffeine really just a habit, or does it border on addiction? Let's delve deeper into this idea. Caffeine, addiction or habit? The relationship with caffeine can be surprisingly complex. For many, it's just a comforting habit, like a morning coffee paired with a warm pastry. But for others, constant consumption can resemble a mild addiction, with withdrawal symptoms like headaches, extreme fatigue, and irritability when the daily dose is missed. This raises the question, are we in control, or is caffeine controlling us? Unlike substances like nicotine or alcohol, caffeine doesn't lead to destructive behaviors, but it can create a functional dependency. Picture someone who can't start their day without a cup of coffee. Without it, productivity plummets, and mood often follows suit. This happens because the brain adapts by increasing adenosine receptors, which diminishes caffeine's effects over time. On the other hand, quitting caffeine is relatively straightforward. Gradually reducing intake can help minimize withdrawal symptoms, allowing the body to recalibrate. Many people choose to moderate their caffeine use strategically, saving it for moments of high mental or physical demand. It's a habit that, with adjustments, can be managed without much difficulty. This balance between habit and addiction is fascinating because it highlights the trade-off between benefits and dependency. When it comes to caffeine, the nuances go beyond body chemistry. Can it truly be a valuable ally when used mindfully? Or do the risks outweigh the rewards? The answer lies in how you incorporate it into your daily routine. Let's reflect on this as we explore smarter choices with this intriguing substance. Caffeine as an ally, but with limits. Caffeine is a double-edged sword. It can be a powerful ally or a treacherous foe. When used mindfully, it becomes an incredible tool, boosting focus, energy, and even physical performance. Studies suggest it may even offer therapeutic benefits, such as reducing the risk of neurological diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. However, these potential advantages require moderation and a healthy dose of common sense. The key is balance. Like any substance, caffeine demands respect. Knowing when to consume it and when to stop can make all the difference. Imagine swapping that evening coffee for a soothing tea or simply staying hydrated with water. Small changes like these can ensure a restorative night's sleep without sacrificing the enjoyment of caffeine during the day. Using caffeine as an ally for productivity or performance should always be intentional. If you have a challenging day ahead, it might be helpful to use it strategically, but avoid turning it into a constant crutch. Feeling in control is just as important as the momentary benefits. The real power of caffeine lies in learning how to use it wisely. In the end, the choice is yours. How will you incorporate this substance, so prevalent in our culture and so potent in its effects, into your life? And more importantly, what steps are you willing to take to ensure it works for you, not against you? These reflections open the door to smarter decisions and a more intentional approach to your daily habits. Now that you know the secrets behind caffeine, how about applying this knowledge to your daily life? Are you using this powerful substance as an ally, or are you letting it control your routines? It's time to make adjustments. Experiment with new times for your coffee, explore less stimulating alternatives in the evening, or even consider a strategic break. What steps will you take to balance your consumption and maximize the benefits? And remember, your input is vital to this conversation. Share in the comments how you use caffeine in your routine and if you've experienced any of the effects we discussed. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep learning about topics that can transform your daily life. Oh, and if this video helped you, click that thanks button. It's a great way to support the channel and ensure more content like this is created for you.